Greetings, Keishlings. Keishan Prime here, doing my One Piece chapter 858 review. Meeting. First it starts off, let's see, where exactly did it start? Okay. Everyone's heading to Capone's base, which is, I think it was on the northwest side of the island. And we get a better look at it, and it looks like it's been built into the mountain, which I was kind of surprised. So it's much bigger than that aerial shot we got last week. Then, as they walk in, Vito's like, "Hey, my hero, the Germa." I can't even do his laugh, it's too weird. But, Sanji wasn't like, it's like, "Oh, it's you again." Luffy thought it was Capone. I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah. Then, Chopper comes out and it's like, "Oh, hey guys, it's like, it's good you made it." The rest of the group traveled through the mirror world. And, it's like, you know, he's drying himself off. And, it's like, "You guys should take a bath too." And it's like, "Oh, I didn't know you liked baths." Yeah, he typically doesn't. He's a salt bath kind of guy, isn't he? Capone doesn't like anybody that's not clean. So, he won't meet you if you're dirty. So, they eventually end up having to take a shower. Then it changes over to the women's bath, which was naked Nami. You know, fan service all around. Good job, Oda. Anyway, but I kind of restrained myself during my live reaction of it. So, anyway, but yeah. From there, we actually get a lot of information about Lola. Because Chiffon was talking to Nami, and Nami's filling her in about what happened to Lola since she left after the whole wedding debacle years ago, and it's like, it's good that she's alive and well and everything. But now it's time to fill you in on some things. Turns out who she was going to marry was the Prince of the Giants of Elbath. Yeah, did not see that happening. And then there's like a weird thing that's happening, which there's a theory there, which I may do a video on that, but I'll probably just say it in this one. Anyway, apparently became quite smitten with Lola and proposed to her. But she didn't apparently want to marry him, so that's why she ended up leaving. Big Mom was overjoyed with this proposal, and obviously we know the fallout of that. Lola is now to be killed on sight, basically. She is considered a criminal, based on what Chiffon says, and will be killed for what she did. And then kind of the sad thing is that Chiffon was pulled into all of this as well, even though, you know, it's just her twin. But because she looks like Lola, she has been beaten on for years by Big Mom, which is, I don't like that. So now she doesn't even she's very much like what some of the other siblings have been, where they don't consider Big Mom really a parent anymore because of the way she treats them. And she thinks Capone and her little baby Pez are her only family now. Presumably also with Lola, but I'm not sure. It was a little unclear. It could be taken both ways. But yeah. Also, it's revealed that like the Big Mom has a problem with the Giants that pre-existed the wedding, which I wanted to know, but they never told us, so that'll get explained. I think she's a midget giant, or a mini giant, if you will. Maybe, sorry about the midget part. I know that's not a proper term to be used nowadays, but anyway, who probably, you know, wanted to marry into a large family, if you will, and when no one wanted her because she was an inferior giant, She left the island, became a pirate, and then, as pirates do, they do illegal things. So she probably started kidnapping giants and tried to breed with them, and they found out, and then that's what started her feud with the giants, as it's described. It's never actually specified what that feud is, just that there's a feud. And then things got worse after the wedding proposal fell through, where Big Mom tried to get Chiffon to marry the prince, who I can't remember what his name is. Loki for some reason. Which I'm wondering if that has anything to do with the fairy tale nature that Elbath is like kind of supposed to be based around, I guess. But myths, mythology, all that kind of stuff rolled into one. But anyway, so yeah, Chiffon was going to be married off in Lola's place as a trick. They found out, and then the feud worsened. And then I already mentioned that she's been abused ever since, so that wasn't great. But so she says that Lola's like a happy-go-lucky person and probably doesn't even know that her mother wants to kill her. Which, I don't know why she would know, really. If she ran away at about the same time when all that would have happened. So, anyway. But yeah. It will be bad if she ever does return. If she gets wind of her little sister Pudding's wedding, this could be interesting if she does show up with a husband who we may not even know who it is. But anyway, that'd be an interesting turn for the wedding. I kind of like that idea. But anyway, then we eventually get out of the women's bath, go to the men's bath. Luffy and Brook have just gotten out, and then Luffy says something that I don't know why he wasn't informed about this, but Brook's like, it felt so good, I almost couldn't get out, and it's like, what are you doing? It's like you just got out of a fierce battle. If only Luffy knew, am I right? He doesn't say it, and he doesn't brag about it, so I guess no one said anything to Luffy about how he got those poneglyph rubbings. And Luffy wasn't there when they rescued him from Big Mom. So he fought and then was captured by Big Mom. And Luffy apparently doesn't know this. Luffy would be patting him on the shoulders, man. But anyway. Then one of my theories eventually got blown out of the water. I had where Chopper would like replace the missing tooth that Luffy has with like a false hollow tooth that has like a little bit of like, say, a soup or something that Sanji cooks, so that Luffy never has to go without Sanji's cooking, and it could be like an emergency like restoring of his strength. That's all been blown out the window because Brook goes over and raids a nearby refrigerator. They get yelled at by one of Capone's men, and both him and Luffy then drank some milk. And Luffy mentions, like, oh yeah, I have this missing tooth, and Brook's like, yeah, and I've got this giant crack in my skull. And then they drink the milk, and, well, all their problems are done. I wish they wouldn't have done that. I wish I would have had a theory that worked, but yeah, I've still got a couple others. Anyway, but from there it moves on to Brûlé and Diesel talking to Chiffon and everything, and they're like, no, you shouldn't do this. You're going against Mama and all that stuff. And besides, it's impossible. It's like, my husband and child are my only family. I don't consider her family anymore. So that shows her feelings now, doesn't it? Then it shifts over to finally we get to the meeting, which has a funny skit with Gangster Gastino. Because Capone comes in and is like, good, you're all dressed and clean, the clothes make the man, as they say, and everyone's sitting down. And I swear, is that the first freaking wrap-around couch, or is it just a bunch of couches put together? Excuse me there. And it's just kind of weird that it's like so enclosed. I don't know why it bothers me. But anyway, Luffy gets asked, it's like, are you going to join hands? And, you know, make this alliance. And Luffy's just like, And then he looks over and he sees this guy who was pointed out by Roger last week that it looked like Caesar Clown. Turns out it is. But he plays himself off as Gangster Gastino. Oh god, he must have just come up with that name on the spot. But it kind of fits, I kind of like it. And he plays him like, no, I'm Capone's brother. And it's like, oh. And it's like, and everyone's like, really? You just now realized, because Chopper was also fooled. And they're like, you just now realized that's, you know, Caesar and all that stuff. And it's like, what? Then it's like, oh wait, you mean you are Caesar? And it's like, and he can't really deny it now. Well, anyway, Capone reveals, it's like, come on, we don't have a whole lot of time. Because at this point, it was that, like, they have like 3 hours and 30 minutes until the wedding. Oh, and I forgot at the beginning, we see the head chef that's actually cooking the cake. I kind of like him for whatever reason. And he's got like a German pastry name. I love pastries. Anyway, but how could I forget him? But I think I was mispronouncing his name, or I just don't know what that food is. It was like Streusen, unless that was strudel, but I don't think so. But I'm probably wrong that it's not strudel. Anyway, but yeah, they're making the cake. Weird that they're just now starting to make it just a few hours before the wedding. That's kind of weird. But anyway, back to the thing. The main plot. Me getting sidetracked. We go in with now that Caesar's finally been revealed, Luffy's like, fine, whatever. We get a little flashback of why Caesar's even there to begin with. With Capone now being a Rook level crewmate and everything, he was able to acquire Caesar's heart when he was keeping an eye on him while he was being transported with Sanji to the island. And he's just kind of kept on. He just kept it. And now he's forcing him to work with him. And Caesar's like, I will destroy the world. And it's like, well, if he could have done that, why hasn't he done that yet? Caesar's kind of weak. He's strong, but he's weak without his heart. So, who knows if any of his threats will ever come through. But so now it's almost like a three-way alliance, because he was said that he would be let free once they got this plan done. So presumably when Big Mom's dead, Caesar gets his heart back and he can go do whatever he wants to do. And obviously the two other parties, Capone and Luffy, they'll do whatever they have to do. Luffy's probably going to fight Capone, or Capone's going to try and knock him off. As he already said, it's like, you guys are troublesome. I'd bump you off right now. But Sanji is the one that can't be bumped off because he has to be at the wedding. So that's kind of a trump card. And Jinbei brings up like the whole reason that this is even a thing is because they have a shared goal. And that's what makes alliances, even if you're enemies, can make an alliance. Which then brings up another thing that Roger brought up. It's like that, given some of the previous chapters with Jinbei, he definitely seems like a future tactician for the Straw Hats instead of a helmsman. But he may fill both roles, who knows. Each Straw Hat can kind of do other things too, so, you know, multiple roles is a thing. It's a small crew. But, yeah, so they're kind of now in a begrudging three-way alliance, though Luffy wanted to punch Capone in the face for what he done to Peckham's, and oh my god, how could I forget about Peckham's? He does not know about the alliance with Capone. I did not pick it up when I was reading it the first time, but he was like, there's something up about all of this, and it was like that the Sun Pirates are keeping him from knowing that, because obviously he doesn't care for Capone. He needs to be reported to Big Mom to know what he's done and what he plans on doing, but obviously it would mess up his somewhat friendly relationship with the Straw Hats to know that they're in on that plan now. So this is getting freaking chaotic, and I love it. Anyway, but yeah, I think that's about it now. Yeah. If I missed anything, let me know. But thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Quiche-lings, roll out.